If you saw my last video where I made this, you'll know that I ended up with scraps. Well, stick with me and we'll talk through what we can do with the scraps. So when I made this original Hemingway pouch, I deliberately quilted a larger piece than what was needed, and then I cut the size that I needed just for this pouch, which then left me with bigger scraps, because if I'd cut it to the size of the pattern, you're left with a leftover piece that's not really usable. So big hack is make bigger piece, make what you need, and then you end up with more usable scraps, because you do have scraps left over from the original one. So I have actually got this triangular piece, which does actually fold up to be pretty much the same size again. That was sheer fluke. And then I ended up with this panel that was down the side, which I can either turn into a pencil case, or maybe, because I folded it in half, maybe 2 pouches. So, which I'm thinking would be more useful than another pencil case, like a small coin purse or something. So I was also thinking, so from this one piece, from the scraps, rather than having one useless scrap, cut it bigger, you end up with bigger scraps that are more suitable for something else. So bear with me while I make my scraps into another pouch, and then possibly into these 2 coin purses. But let's figure this out, play with it a little bit. And in case you need to visualize how the scraps came about, there's the diagonal line, which was this pouch. And then I had this left over and this left over. So when you normally make this pattern, you're normally left with, like that size kind of left with a weird angle. So I knew that was going to happen. So I cut out as big a piece as I could get from the fabric. I have no idea what the measurements were. And then I quilted it and then cut it to shape. So if you're going to ask me what size I made it, as big as I could manage with a piece of fabric that I had. And it was just, I've had this in the cupboard for ages. I have no idea what size it was, but this just gives you an idea of how the scraps occur. But anyway, let's make this and then we'll figure out what we can do with this rectangular piece. I just broke the sewing needle on the sewing machine. I've got to get it out actually before I break it. Yeah, I broke it. I'm not sure where the tip's gone, but I was just sewing this bit here. So this bit here's let me show you. Hang on, the finished product. This is the first one I made. This is the first one I made to the proper dimensions. I'm just sewing this end here, so when I flip it out to sew the edges, on the zipping tab, the zipper bit doesn't come off. When you pull it open, it doesn't come off. So I was sewing that, and I'm in the middle of cooking dinner and sewing at the same time. And sorry, I can see my dog. Can you see my dog? She's looking at something up the garden. Yeah, so I just ran over that too hard with the sewing machine when I was running backwards and forward cooking dinner that it broke. So that's slowed down a bit, but I have noticed that because this one is not the same dimensions as this original, it's working out a little bit differently. So I'm just going to come up and I'll just trim this off later. But that's cool. This is I'm not mad about it. It's just a different size pouch. Just the only thing is that my little zipper tab's in a little bit different placement, but that's cool. It still works. Zipper tab handle, whereas this one I managed to get right bang in the corner, which is cool. Then this one will be just slightly off center, which is pretty cool. It still works. Still look good. But that's how it goes. Anyway, I've got to change the needle. I wonder if I've got any needles. I do have, I made this ages ago, and I do have a universal, so I'll change that and finish this, turn it around, sew it, then trim it, and then I'll come back and we'll figure out what I'm going to do with the rectangular piece. Okay. Yeah, that's fine there, I think. Maybe, yeah. So we'll turn it inside out and figure out what we're going to do. Important thing is to line up the bottom. And so if I lined it up over there, yeah, no, the zipper tab's completely off. I wonder if I put the zipper tab back on, it would change how it was, because no, the zipper tab's aligned. How does that work? Is it because the zipper tab's wrong? Let's try. Oh no, I've already stitched over it. Okay. Oh no, yep, okay. Let's try it again. Maybe that was 100% my fault. Let's put it on this one first. Bring it to here and then bring it down. How can I do it when it's on the ground? Look, that's better. Oh yes. Wow, who'd have thought? And then that's fixed it. Okay, that was interesting. I just aligned the zipper tab wrong. Such a simple fix. And look, it's back up on the corner. Oh, well, I'm glad I took a second to do that. But now I'm going to go back and hand crank this over and then start stitching again. This is a boring bit, so we'll come back when I'm doing something a bit more interesting. I forgot how quick these are to sew. The hardest thing is quilting the panel, and let's face it, quilting is only as hard as what you make it. You could actually use pre-quilted fabric if you wanted to make it quicker, or just use fused fabric. You don't actually have to have it quilted. And then it just sews up in a matter of minutes. So I need to press it. But look at that, all fixed. And got the loop back on the corner. And there's this good pressing. The only thing I've done different with this one is I added a little label at the bottom. The only thing is with these, you do get quite a chunky corner because of the binding, but that's all right. Part of the course, isn't it? So this is what this size is. Let's compare it to the one that I made as a present. And let's have a look. Oh, look, it's the same. It's a smidge narrower, look, just a couple of mils narrower, and like 1/2 centimetre shorter at the top. So all I did was just made the fabric piece bigger, and then I cut this one out. The measurements are all on the pattern. I'm not going to leave the measurements out. And then with the scraps, because I made sure I had bigger scraps because I used a bigger piece of fabric panel. I've got that. So now we've got to figure out what to do with this. And I'm thinking I'll just cut it in half because otherwise it's a really long pouch. So let's make that decision now. You reverse it so we can't do it, change our mind. Let's cut it in half and then go from there. All right. 2 panels. I'm thinking, well, when it's straight, is to do that, or to do there and a zip there, because I like putting the zips in the midsection because then I can use shorter zips. That's what I think I'll do. So not straight, find some zips out and then do this. And then I have got 2 pouches. But that's something to do tomorrow. It's heading towards 8 o'clock. I've got to do the dishes, start getting the kids ready for bed. So this is a tomorrow thing. It's the next day now, and last night I stayed up and I made this little pouch from these scraps. I wanted to try French seaming it. So, you know, where you sew the seam when it's like this, and then you turn it inside out and then enclose the raw edges. And I like it, but it's made a very narrow pouch. I also remember to put a tag on it, and I was experimenting with using the leftover bit of tape. So this bit here, the zipper tape, I'm using it as a pull tab, and so it's worked. But on this side it didn't. It was so tiny because I had to fold it over the seams twice. I just ended up cutting that off. So I like experimenting every time I sew. So I'm going to try again, but I'm not going to French seam it. I will use this bit for the tab because I thought that worked out really well. Actually, I think this side is longer. I might use this end. And I'll remember to put the tag in. And I have leftover binding from the Hemingway pouch or whatever it's called. So I might bind the edges because I think, yeah, there's enough. Okay, cool. All right, let's start making this one then. Just lining it up there. These are the tabs that I cut off. I think this side is longer, so I'm going to use this one. I'm just going to cut it off this side of the, whatever you call that, the zipper stop, and I'm just going to nestle it right in this section here and just sew the cut end along the zip. This is what I did last time and it worked. And then I'm going to come over on this side. I'm going to do the same. Cut right off towards the zip. Oh, it's got some stitches in there. No, hang on, that's not it. This is it. Oh, they all start to look the same after a while. All right, I want this piece. Right. And then I had the taggy bit at the bottom, so I'll just do the same taggy bit at the bottom, line it up, and try to get it even. Okay, so now we've got some tabs. All right, okay, and while I'm thinking about it, I'm just going to get my label, and I haven't got a proper fold label. I'm trying to use what I have got. A fold label would be handy, but when you've got heaps of these, try to use what you got. Okay. Both sides have been bound, It's a little bit messy at the top, but who's going to see it? Let's have a look. I think it's turned out to be the same width. Oh no, actually this one looks like it could fit in this one. Let's have a look. Well, you could possibly, but you'd have to squeeze it in. Okay, so the tabs worked. The cute little zipper tabs. So, I mean, I'm just going to throw it away. So why not have something that works? That's fine. Got to work on putting these on straighter, but if I had proper labels that were proper fold labels, it would look a lot better, but I'm just trying to use what I've got. And then the inside, that's what it looks like with the binding, and that's what it looks like, slightly too small. And lipstick size, or you could put your phone chargers in here. That looks fine too. It was easier to turn this one than this one, ironically, but they just need a good press. So this is not bad. So out of that one project, I've gotten these two, out of the scraps, I've gotten two little like coin purse pouches, or phone, you know, charger cords, or money, or snacks, or, you know, you could put your tampons in it, you could put your lipsticks, you could put your toys in it, pencils. So from scraps, I've got two small pouches and a large Hemingway pouch, and then out of that I've also got, this one. So from that one big project, when I just put more fabric in my yardage that I quilted, I cut out to shape, just to the size of the pattern measurements, this, and then with the useless scraps that I would normally have, didn't have useless scraps because I added more yardage to them. I've gotten another pouch and two other coin purse pouches. What do we call these? Can you tell me, what do you call these, this size? So I'm pretty pleased with myself. I'm glad I made the extra for that big one, and I think that I love the colour. I wasn't quite sure about the colour of the binding, but I think that worked really well. It played on the sort of the bluey green in the pattern. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it.